What if the one move that unlocks Anthony Davis, calms LeBron's clock, and turns the West into a chessboard with fewer pieces is already walking through the tunnel in purple and gold? What if the Lakers finally found a five who doesn't steal, touches, doesn't clog the paint, and still makes the rim feel like private property? And what if that five is Miles Turner? Length, timing, pick-and-pop gravity, plugged straight into a system that's been begging for this blueprint since the bubble? Smash like, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and tell me your gut in the comments, because if you can picture it, you can feel it. The floor stretches, the paint tightens, and the fourth quarter gets very quiet for the other guys. Start with the geometry. LeBron calls for the high screen, Davis chills on the weak side like a trap waiting to spring, and Turner flips the angle, screen, slip, pop, making a defense choose which rule it wants to break. If the big stays home, Dame range pull-ups aren't even required. It's LeBron to the nail, 2 feet in the paint, lob window open, corner shooter grinning. If the big chases, Turner floats to that 24-foot office where closeouts die of exhaustion and late contests look like polite suggestions. And when teams try the crowded paint trick that haunted LA last spring, Turner's spacing vacuums that mess into clean lanes, and AD turns closeouts into crimes of verticality. The beautiful part? None of this demands hero ball. It demands adult timing. LeBron manipulates help with his eyes, Davis punishes angles, Turner respects the metronome. That's not a highlight. That's an ecosystem. Defense is where this gets mean. The Lakers have flirted with being elite on that end whenever AD has help at the rim and clean responsibilities. Turner's timing gives you that second layer. First, contest forces the floater. Second contest erases the floater's confidence. In drop, he's disciplined. No jumping at ghosts, just long arms and worse decisions for drivers. In short switches, he's mobile enough to corral, delay, and funnel back into help. In backline rotations, he's the guy who turns layup into reset, and resets are where 24 seconds go to die. Pair that with AD hunting from the weak side, tag, stunt, pounce, and you get that playoff smell. Possessions that feel like uphill sprints for the other team. Remember how Denver punishes you for one bad rotation? This is how you punish them. Back, clean rules, longer arms, and rebound ownership without giving away the arc. Offense again because the menu just got wider without getting heavier. Spain pick and roll becomes a nightly tax. Turner screens, a guard back screens the big, Davis slashes behind, and the defense either gives up a lob, a top-of-key three, or a wide-open shooter after the kick-out hopscotch. Delay action runs through. Turner above the break. Handoff to Austin Reeves, weaving downhill, backdoor flash when his man top locks, and a little pitch and replace that ends with an elbow jumper so clean it should come with sanitizing wipes. Horns? Choose your poison. Turner pops, AD dives, LeBron reads tags like a librarian with a barcode scanner, and when the game gets muddy, and it always does in May, the simple things win. A two-man game that doesn't fiddle with spacing, a pop that punishes drop on command, a big who doesn't need 5 touches to give you 20 points worth of gravity. Culture doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but you feel it as soon as the ball goes up. A grown man 5 who runs, screens on time, talks on defense, and doesn't need drama to be valuable is the kind of presence that makes a locker room exhale. Reeves screens harder because he knows the second angle will be there. Rui times his cuts because the paint isn't clogged by a post-up that nobody asked for. The second unit steals 6 points a half because early offense pistol with Turner as the trailer punishes lazy matchups. And LeBron, who has graduated from do everything to decide everything, gets to choose when he's the hammer and when he's the whisper. That's what spacing plus rim protection buys you, the luxury of choice. Picture the playoff matchups, and the story writes itself. Against Denver, every possession is a negotiation with Jokic. Turner gives you honest minutes of drop without losing the three, and his pop forces the big fella to sprint to 25 feet more than he'd like. Against Minnesota's Twin Towers, you counter size with shape. Turner keeps the lane breathable, AD hunts the gaps, and LA turns long rebounds into runway. Against Dallas, the Luka-Kyrie calculus depends on you holding the line at the rim while not surrendering rhythm threes. Turner is the math tutor. Against the Clippers, who live on switches, a 5 who punishes smalls by popping instead of posting, erases their favorite trick. It's not that Turner becomes the best player in any of these series, it's that he makes your best players unguardable by removing the worst options from the chessboard. End of game script, because that's where banners are born. 2 minutes left, 1 possession game, side out. LA flows into a 5-out look. Turner sets a ghost screen for LeBron, show, slip, pop, while AD lurks baseline. If the defense switches, LeBron walks into a driving lane that forces a third defender, and the corner 3 happens by gravity, not luck. If they stay, the pull-up's there. If they trap, Turner becomes the release valve at the top, 1 swing to the corner, and the ball has already decided to go in before the net is ready. No clutter, no guesswork, just clean reads and a shot profile that wins over 7 games. On the other end, you ice the side pick and roll into help. Turner absorbs the drive's first panic, AD erases the second, and the rebound feels preordained. Now, let's be grown-ups about the other column on the whiteboard, the risks and the realities. Bigs who shoot and protect travel miles in their legs. You manage the calendar, so May legs exist in May. You don't over-romanticize the 3. If the shot's not falling, you keep its gravity alive with volume and trust the math over the mood. You pair Turner with lineups that rebound by committee so AD doesn't become the only parachute. You accept that some nights matchups force you into smaller or bigger looks, and that's a feature, not a bug. This isn't about force-feeding touches. It's about force-feeding choices to the defense. And yes, you design coverages so your guards don't turn every drop into a layup line. First contact matters, rear-view contests matter, and a backline you trust makes guards brave. Again, the business side is not a vibe. It's a spreadsheet with teeth. Windows are merciless. LeBron is juggling greatness and gravity, AD is balancing dominance and durability, and the West punishes any team that tries to figure itself out after Valentine's Day. That's why a plug-and-play 5 who doesn't need a playbook to help, screen here, pop there, wall up inside, isn't luxury, it's medicine. But medicine still has to clear compliance, assets, cap, timing, and the fine print that separates fantasy from the tarmac at LAX. You weigh cost against the value of clarity. Knowing what you are in April beats hoping what you could be in June. And this is where we talk straight with you, in the same breath, with the same heartbeat. There is no podium shot. There is no pen-on-paper moment. There is no team official standing at a mic with a grin and a jersey. What there is alignment that borders on stubborn. A roster that screams for a floor spacer who is also a paint cop, a star big who becomes fully himself at the 4, and a conductor who thrives when the orchestra plays in 5-out time signatures. This is structured speculation, the kind that gets you excited because the basketball makes sense, not because the rumor mill needs fuel. If the lane's open, if agents, cap numbers, and front office courage all decide to share the fast lane, the rest is logistics. If they don't, the blueprint remains the same, and the next name will be judged by the same ruler. Protect the rim, stretch the floor, keep the ball simple. Take a breath and imagine the practices. The first week, the offense feels like a new city with familiar street names. Pistol early, zoom into DHO, Spain into slip, horns into split. By week 2, the timing is internalized. The pop is earlier, the cut is sharper, the skip pass is thrown half a heartbeat sooner. By week 3, you can see the difference in LeBron's eyes. Fewer possessions where he has to invent, more where he gets to decide. By week 4, AD's shot diet is cleaner, more catches on the move, fewer stand-still post-ups into crowded elbows. This is how a regular season becomes a ramp, not a roller coaster. Rotations? You keep two creators on the floor at all times, one pressure point at the rim, and at least two honest spacers. Stagger LeBron and Dame-type shot creators, if applicable. Let Turner captain delay sets with the second unit, and give Rui Torian-type forwards the green light to cut in front of ball watchers. If the opponent goes small, you punish with offensive, rebounding and post seals that end in kickouts, not contested hooks. If they go big, you outrun them in early offense. Turner trailing into top-of-key threes, AD sprinting to the dunker spot, LeBron reading four defenders who still haven't found the ball. There's a reason fans here dream with spreadsheets and whiteboards at the same time. LA loves stars but loves clean basketball just as much. Turner isn't a headline in neon. He's a system stabilizer in gold trim. He makes AD's defense louder by making his job smaller. He makes LeBron's offense simpler by making the court wider. He gives every role player a clear sentence. To read, screen, space, shoot, or cut. And when the game demands violence, he supplies it at the rim. When it demands patience, he supplies it at 24 feet. That's two languages in one player. So here's where we land. Lakers Nation. If this thing graduates from whiteboard to welcome graphic, nothing about the identity needs to be reinvented, only clarified. The Lakers become the team that can win grimy and pretty, slow and fast, bruising and brainy. The fourth quarter stops, feeling like a cliff, and starts feeling like a ramp. The matchups you used to fear become puzzles you know how to solve. And the conversation changes from, can the stars do everything? To, can the system make everything easier for the stars? That's how you buy margin in May. Now it's your turn. Money on the line, first possession of crunch time. What are you calling? Spain with Turner popping and AD ghosting behind? Horns twist into a LeBron drive with a kick to the slot? Delay handoff into a backdoor cut for Reeves? Drop your set in the comments and tell me which matchup you're hunting. Hit subscribe if your blood pressure calmed just thinking about clean spacing and a defended rim, and keep the notifications on. Because whether the pen hits paper or not, we've set the standard for what the five next to AD has to look like. And if Miles Turner is the one who fits it, June doesn't feel like a fairy tale anymore. It feels like a plan.